Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome to part 4 of 747. This should just be a quick news piece. There's not much speculation or analysis to do here. This is just me updating you guys on something new information we've learned about Jurassic World Evolution 2. So let's take a look at that information. Earlier on today, the official Jurassic World Evolution Twitter account tweeted, "Hey Josh!" exclamation point. Jurassic World Evolution 2 features an original story that follows on from the events of Fallen Kingdom, and we have no plans for Camp Cretaceous content! Exclamation point. We'll be revealing more about the 75 plus prehistoric species featured in game as we get closer to the launch! Exclamation point. Whoever's doing this loves exclamation points. So really this is the focus here, and we have no plans for Camp Cretaceous content. Now there are two ways to look at that really. I do have my own preference. The first is that what they mean by no plans for Camp Cretaceous content is that this links in with the story here, and that it's in fact the story that won't have any links in with Camp Cretaceous. However, a straight up, we have no plans for Camp Cretaceous, it's not missions, it's not story, it's content, suggests to me that it's actually more like that there's no plans for Camp Cretaceous dinosaurs or designs to make it into Jurassic World Evolution 2. So that would mean the Monolophosaurus. Now that doesn't mean Monolophosaurus can't be in the game, but it does mean it wouldn't necessarily be following the Camp Cretaceous design. That means the Tyrannosaurus would probably, if it is going to make it back into the game, like I said, we'll probably talk about that tomorrow, is probably more likely to look like this rather than like this. Which, you know, is actually okay. The evolution of Tyrannosaurus is underrated. It's actually got a really nice design. But the real kicker really is this lad right here, because it very much suggests that E750 won't make it into the game either. And I am a little surprised by this as a response. Camp Cretaceous is hyper popular, and I would imagine a Camp Cretaceous pack, or even just having a few of the dinosaurs, would really help. I was trying to think about why this would be the case. Number one would just be trying to appear a slightly more mature or serious game, because they don't want to tie in directly with what is, you know, marketed and meant to be a kids show. I know lots of us love it, despite, you know, being older, whatever, but it is originally designed for kids, although Season 3 was probably pushing that boundary a little bit. They don't have access to the official models and stuff like that. I mean, even if they did, the E750, for example, has a more cartoony aesthetic, has a lower quality model, etc., compared to the film models that they would have used in Jurassic World Evolution 1. You know, they pull the models directly from the film. Obviously they're not quite that quality, but they're pulled from the film and then rejigged for the game. And you probably couldn't do that in the same way with Evolution. It may simply be that E750 would be such an annoyingly complex dinosaur to animate, given its bizarre animations and everything, that it simply wasn't viable for Jurassic World Evolution 2 in the first place. Alternatively, maybe they're just not that big a fan of the designs, really. Maybe they don't particularly like the Mono and the Orano and the E750. Those are the three new dinosaurs we got. There have been a handful of other dinosaurs that have had slight tweaks to their design. The Carnotaurus, the Ceratosaurus looks different, I would say, but I don't think they're necessarily improvements over the film version or anything, so I can see why they'd be left alone. It could be nothing. It could be that Camp Cretaceous won't be launching with a story content. You know, there'll be no Camp Cretaceous Chaos Theory mode, although that would have been cool. But I am reading this as no Camp Cretaceous dinosaurs. They're going to continue to focus on both the film stuff and their own original species. It is worth keeping in mind that with 75 plus prehistoric species, it sounds like a lot, but since we're now getting aquatic species, we're now getting our flying species, there's a lot less room to bring in new species. I've said the word species too many times now, haven't I? There's a lot less room for new creatures, because not only do they want to bring across the original roster, or most of it, again, up in the air, we'll talk about it, but they then need to have a decent number of new dinosaurs to attract people, and genuinely new dinosaurs, not just ones taken from Camp Cretaceous, but then also new flying creatures, new aquatic creatures. So I can see several justifications for as to why I think some people will be disappointed by this. I don't think it's that big a deal personally, but I just wanted to give you the information, and you guys can react either positively or negatively. You know, I think how you feel about this will depend largely on your preference for Camp Cretaceous. But I will say, the less media there is that Frontier feels obligated to is actually for the better. Yes, we can get the film designs in, that's great, but if there's then Camp Cretaceous and maybe eventually another TV show and like a book, and there's all this canon material that Frontier feel they have to put into the game, that really limits them creatively. and it stops them doing what they want to do, and I'd like to see Frontier come up with their own designs. I mean, sometimes we get Deinonychus, sure, I still love Deinonychus, I've got to say, but that means we also get things like Euoplocephalus, you know, we get to see them do their own thing and make some beautiful little dinosaurs. So I can see this going both ways. I just wanted to bring you guys the information, and at the end of the day, guys, people will find a way to bring E750 in either way, so it is what it is. Thank you for joining me, now I can go. Cheers, much love as always. Throw me a like if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button for lots more Jurassic World Evolution 2 news and updates. Cheers, much love as always, bye bye.
Reaching out.